Arike was so heartbroken, and out of anger, she forced the door open, and they were surprised to see her. She said to them, I saw and heard everything, but you know what? A very long time ago, in faraway kingdom of Akbalowo, there lived a king called Oba Owolabi. He was loved by his subjects because he was a very kind king who ruled his people fairly and ensured that they were all well taken care of. Oba Owolabi had a very beautiful wife called Queen Aderonke, and together they had a very beautiful daughter called Princess Omolola. Princess Omolola was popularly called Arike, which was her Arike. Arike in Yoruba means the pet name given to a child. However, the king had a problem, and that is the size of his only princess, Arike. Arike was so fat that it takes about 4 strong palace guards to lift her up from the bed every morning. She breathed so heavily to the extent that one can hear the sound of her breathing from afar. She also smelled so badly because her body has layers of folds which were too heavy to be lifted up while bathing. These folds trapped dirt and sweat, causing her to smell like rotten fish. Oba Owolabi and his wife, Queen Aderonke, always have sleepless nights thinking about a solution for their daughter because no suitor had agreed to ask her hand in marriage. The king and her wife have spent a lot of money looking for solution for their daughter, yet none yielded positive results. Princess Arike was not happy with her body size, and it made her to have low self-esteem. She wasn't proud of herself. She always sees herself as ugly, but there was nothing she could do to help herself. Arike was a very good sculptor and a singer. She sings to herself whenever she's sculpting, and these skills gave her comfort. One day, Chief Akande, who was a palace chief, suggested to his son Olu to marry the princess. Olu was astonished by his father's suggestion, and out of shock and disbelief, he asked his father and said, Me, Olu, marry Princess Arike, that fat smelling woman. Haba Baba, what are you saying? I can't marry her, he said. His father smiled mischievously and said, My son, I didn't ask you to marry her because you love her. I want you to marry her because I want you to become the authority in this kingdom. Don't you know that anyone that marries automatically becomes a royal blood? When the marriage rite is completed, you can go ahead and marry any woman of your choice, his father says, smiling. Wow, Baba, I never thought of this. Thank you. You are indeed a wise man, Olu said to his father while he giggled. So, the next day, Chief Akande went to inform the king about his son's decision to marry Princess Arike. The king and queen were so happy because finally a suitor has found Arike worthy of marriage. Arike too was so joyous about the news. So the king suggested that the wedding will hold in 6 months' time because the kingdom was preparing for their annual festival. So while they wait for the day of their wedding, Arike and Olu sometimes meet up, at least to know themselves, so Arike thought. But every meeting ended up with Arike living in tears and with low self-esteem because of the ways Olu treated her. He treated her with so much disgust. He didn't fail to remind Arike that he was doing her a lot of good by agreeing to marry her. He uses demeaning words on her like, "You should be grateful that I'm considering marrying you, a fat smelling pig like you. Or did any other suitor ask for your hand in marriage?" These words always leave Arike sad, but she had no choice but to continue putting up with Olu's mean attitude towards her because she was scared of losing him. One day, Olu commanded Princess Arike to steal one of her mother's golds and bring to him. She hesitated at first, but Olu threatened to call off the wedding, so she had no choice but to give in. At night, she successfully stole the gold and decided to take it to Olu's house the next morning. On getting there, she peeped through the window and what she saw broke her heart. She saw Olu and her best friend Wumi in bed. She wanted to turn back, but she heard them discussing, so she decided to listen to their discussion. And what she heard even shattered her heart the more. Wumi said to Olu, "When are you going to end things with that smelling Arike? I want to have you all to myself." Olu answered and said, "Don't worry. Once the marriage rite is completed, I will relegate her to the background, then marry you and make you my real queen. The sight of that Arike disgusts me," he said, and both of them laughed out loud. Arike was so heartbroken, and out of anger, she forced the door open, and they were surprised to see her. She said to them, "I saw and heard everything, but you know what? I am tired of putting myself down because of you, Olu. I am the one calling off the wedding instead of you. This is what I should have done a long time ago." And she turned to her friend Wumi and said, "I am happy that the real you has been exposed. You can have him all to yourself, betrayer." And with these words, she left and went back to the palace. When she got to the palace, she told her parents all that happened and everything she has been enduring in Olu's hands. They felt sorry for her and respected her decision to call off the wedding. She then went straight to her room and cried herself to sleep without food. When she woke up the next morning, she felt a bit better. She bathed, ate, and decided to stroll to the riverside, where she did some sober reflection on herself. She decided that henceforth she would focus on her sculpting art and her singing skill, then serve her people. And this decision made her happy and much more joyous than she had ever felt in her whole life. The next day, she assembled her sculpting tools and started doing what she knows how to do best while she sang to herself. She carved many beautiful artworks, and on the day of the annual festival, she has crafted so many, and her crafts were displayed in admiration of everyone present. Among the guests at the festival was a young handsome man called Oladeji. He so loved her craft and asked who made them. He was then told that it was a princess of the kingdom. He requested that they take him to her, but the villagers tried discouraging him, telling him that he can't stand the smell that comes out of her body. They told him how fat she was, but all these words didn't deter Oladeji. He was interested in meeting the gifted hands that made all those crafts. So they eventually took him to the palace, but Arike refused to come out to see him because she didn't want any man to make her feel bad about her body again. The next day, Oladeji returned to the palace and met Arike walking on the sculpture while she sang. Immediately, Oladeji said to her, "Wow, you have such a melodious voice, and your hands are gifted too." Arike raised her head to see who was speaking such kind words to her, and behold, her eyes beheld a very handsome man. She said, "Who are you and what do you want here?" He told her about how he loved her artworks at the festival. He begged her to teach him the craft. At first, Arike hesitated, not because she didn't want to, but because she knew he can't stand her body odor for long. But Oladeji insisted, and finally, Arike agreed. So every day, Oladeji comes for training under Arike, and they later became good friends. And with time, Arike could confide in him and told him about all the challenges she has been facing because of her body. One day, Oladeji said to Arike, "I can help you lose your weight. Arike laughed and told him how they have looked for solution, all to no avail. She told him about the herbs she has taken, but no solution. Oladeji assured Arike that he will help her. So every morning they will go jogging and running. In the afternoon, they will do their sculpting. And in the cool evening, they go to the riverside while Oladeji would play the flute. Arike sang and danced. Oladeji also told Arike the foods to eat, such as vegetables and fruit. He also told her how to bathe properly. He told her to always lift all the folds of fat around her and wash properly, as this will help reduce the smell. With time, Arike started noticing some positive changes in her body. She started losing the massive body fat, the smell reduced, and she felt lighter. As months passed by, Arike turned into a moderately shaped curvy African woman. She was so happy, and of course, all the villagers started admiring her. Her mockers became her admirers, and all the eligible suitors in the village started doing all they could do to get her attention, but she never gave them a chance. One day, as she went with Oladeji to the riverside as usual, Oladeji suddenly stopped playing the flute in the middle of her dance, and she asked why. Oladeji looked at her with so much passion and love and said, "Arike, I can't keep this any longer. Ever since I set my eyes on you, I had always loved you. Arike, please, I don't just want to be your friend. I want to be your husband." These words gladdened Arike's heart because she has been waiting for Oladeji to say these words to her, and she was already in love with him. But Arike stopped and said to Oladeji, "What if I become fat again? Will you still love me?" He answered and said, "I love you even when you were fat. I fell in love with your kind heart, your strong will, and everything about you, Arike. I only helped you to shred your weight because I wanted you to be happy, as I've seen that had been your dream. Also, for you to be healthy for us, your loved ones." With these words, Arike felt more comfortable. She felt safe with him, and she fell more in love with him. And immediately, she accepted his proposal. They broke the good news to her parents, and the king asked Oladeji to bring his family. Few days later, Oladeji arrived with his parents, and Arike was surprised to find out that he was royal too. Oladeji is the prince to another kingdom and the heir to the throne of the kingdom. Although Arike's father knew about this all this while, but he never told her. Their wedding date was fixed. They got married and they lived happily ever after. So that is the end of my story. Did you enjoy it? Please let me know in the comment section. So from this story we can learn that irrespective of our imperfections, we should have strong self-esteem and shouldn't settle for less. It was immediately Arike left Olu that she found her true self. Also, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, please do it diligently. And this can be found in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs chapter 18 verse 16, which says, "A man's gift maketh way for him, and makes him stand before great men." It was Arike's craft that made Oladeji to know about her, which eventually led to their happy marriage. So, which other lesson did you learn from this story? I would love to know about it. I would love to read from you in the comment section. Please kindly subscribe if you have not done so. Also, like this video and put on your notification icon so that anytime I post a new video, you will be the first to know. Until our next story, remain blessed. Bye bye.